Let's watch this Obasanjo's video together, where Obasanjo was saying that he is more Nigerian than he is affiliated to his tribe. Let's watch it together.
If I have been born in Sokoto, the chances are probably 99 to 1, I will have been a Muslim. If I have been born in Sokoto. If Sultan had been born in Abeokuta, the chances are 99, no, it won't be 99. It will probably be 55 to 45 that he will be a Christian. Now, what has brought a change, or what he has brought, what he is, or what I am, is where I was born, by whom I was born, and maybe when I was born. Why should that be a deciding factor for me as a human being?
Welcome back. Now, in that video, why wouldn't Obasanjo say that his Nigerianness is way more than his Yorubaness? Have you all forgotten that Obasanjo has nothing less than 3 to 7 oil wells in the South? When he understands that he is profiting from a region that neither his mother or his father, originates from, yes, he would readily and aggressively want to identify as a Nigerian. Nigeria is a contraption, a business entity created for usurpers. Nigeria is a country solely created to abuse and to steal the commonwealth of the real owners. And this was actually what the Royal Niger Company, owned by the British Empire, made. When they saw that Nigeria is a place, a land filled with milk and honey, how do we intend to rob off this land? Lo and behold, fast forward to over 100 years later, the agents of this British Empire, who of course are the past terrible, unintelligent military leaders, and of course civilian leaders, people like Buhari, people like Obasanjo, even people like Tinubu, are the only beneficiaries, most especially the Fulanese oligarchs. They are the major beneficiaries of this Nigeria contraption. Nigeria was never made on what we call equity and justice. There's nothing like fairness in the Nigerian setting. It is always unfairness, inequality, where some, minor major people, they call themselves political chieftains, power brokers, are the ones detecting what is going on. In that video, Obasanjo was saying that, why will I allow the accident of where I am born? Oga, keep quiet. Where you are born is the setting of God. Where you are born is for a purpose. You are created to make that place a attractive place, develop it. Is that not the reason why Obasanjo would tell us that he did not fix the roads in Abeokuta? Is that the reason why Obasanjo would tell us that why he ruled for nothing less than 10 years in Nigeria? He couldn't do the Songwater roads, express roads. Obasanjo could not even fix Southwest. Neither did he fix Southeast. Obasanjo came out from the prison. He said the only balance he had, the account balance he had was it 3,000 naira or maybe 30,000 naira? But at the end of his 8-year rule, then we started hearing that Obasanjo has what's it called, the Bells University. He has the Songwater farms, all manner of investment here and there, all manners of SPVs. Oh, why wouldn't he love Nigeria? These are the people some Nigerians look up to. These are just in a bid for them to denigrate Kemi's statement, instead of them to accept their failures as leaders. These are all stooges, puppets for the imperialists. Their mate in Burkina Faso today is doing what a person like Obasanjo, who ruled for 10 years, couldn't do. Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso In just less than 2 years, 3 years now, Burkina Faso is a major manufacturer of textile fabrics. The colonial master used to tell them that their land is not fertile for wheat. Now they are harvesting tonnage, multiple tonnage of wheat. Right now, they were told they can never grow pineapples in their land. My friend, Burkina Faso today has gone through what we call self-actualization. They have decided to take that motherland or fatherland as their own personal property, and they've owned it. Now they are harvesting humongous amount of pineapple in Burkina Faso. Coming back home to Nigeria, that resource that we have is now a curse. That resource that we have, has never been a Nigerian leader that had taught it them that we need to know the technology on how to rig this oil, how to drill oil from our soil. We should stop looking towards foreign investors, foreign companies, who of course have always been the major thief. You know, those major companies have always been the major racketeers. They always go in cahoots with the corrupt politicians. The same thing they did in Angola. The same thing they have done in Gabon. In so many sub-Sahel oil-rich nations. All these international foreign companies, like they are called, are just corrupt companies. They corrupt the system. And this is why you see that a person like Obasanjo will always come out any time, any day, and tell you that Nigeria is more Nigerian. Oh my goodness, let us go back to regional government. If you want to go back to regional government, which every one of us know that was when, as a country, we had the fastest development per region. In the eastern region, we had the likes of Mike Okpara doing his cocoa rubber wonders. Industrialization was going on aggressively. Education was top notch. Let us come to Southwest. We had the free education, we had the cocoa plantation, we have the rubber plantation, we have the cassava plantation, we have industrial zones of Akran in Ikeja, we have them at Abeokuta, we had them the cocoa house in Ibadan, the tallest building in the whole of Africa, because everybody didn't give a damn about oil. Everybody just focused on what they had. Everybody focused that as far as I have a land, I can, toil the land. I'm going to plow the soil. I'm going to plant the seed of cocoa or rubber or whatever that I believe, palm kernel, shea butter that I believe can actually grow in my area. I'm going to do it aggressively. I'm going to focus on it, concentrate on it. I'm going to add value, export, enrich my people, give them free education. That is more than enough. There are so many countries in the world that do not have oil and are extremely rich today. Show me how Singapore has oil. Singapore does not have, God did not bless them with crude oil, but Singapore has nothing less than 20 refineries. So many people, even Nigeria takes their crude oil to Singapore to refine. You know why? Because Lee Kuan Yew invested heavily in education, in engineering, in science. He invested heavily in the people. In fact, Lee Kuan Yew even criminalized uneducated people. If you are uneducated, you do not have rights to get married. If you are not educated, if you are not earning a certain amount of money, if you go marry, you will be jailed. That is how nations are built. Right now, today, Singapore GDP value is almost times 30 of Nigerian GDP value. The economy of Singapore is so advanced that it might literally take Nigeria 300 years to catch up with Singapore. And Singapore is just a country without literally nothing, just the people. And that is why we must understand. And this is why I do not rate and respect these past leaders. The most important resource any country owns or has are their human beings. Look at Nigeria with all the various large quantities of mineral resources. Nigeria has californium, we have lithium, we have uranium, we have gold, we have, diamond, all name it. Now ask the Nigerian people, go and mine this, refine it, and turn it into a finished product. Nothing dey their skull. The only thing the leaders of Nigeria have done is infuse in them, integrate in them religious bigotry, ethnic bigotry. That's it. This is why you see that some governors in either Bauchi or Borno would rather spend nothing less than 2.5 billion to build mosque. You can imagine. Instead of you to give that money into the research and development of the universities so that they can go into critical research on how to create things from sand. I can categorically tell you that in Nigeria today, Nigerians do not understand the technology of iron smelting. Because if we do, we're supposed to have even privately owned blast furnace, steel mills. Everything are foreign owned. And these are the problem of the leaders. It all started from the likes of Obasanjo. These are people who claim to be highly educated, well exposed. Instead of you to ensure that your people, the common Nigerians, have access to quality free education, they would rather filter away the money to have their own universities. Atiku too had his own universities. Now look at that simple policy Lee Kuan Yew passed, that if you are not earning a certain amount of money, right? Imagine in Nigeria today, you look at your BVN and in your across your account, what we see is just 300,000, and you have 3 wives. You should be jailed because you are not planning to develop the country. Your intention is to become a liability. When anybody is not resourceful, you are not adding value to your direct economy and environment, you have to be jailed, you have to be taken away. And this is where the Northerners have become the bone in our throat. If such policy is to be passed in the South, let me tell you categorically, there is not one single region in the South, be it South, Southeast, or Southwest, that will reject this bill. But take it to the North. They start telling you all nonsense. Oh no, this Sharia law. Oh no, it is God that will come and take care of my children. Oh no, you don't know, maybe if I give birth to 10 children, maybe it is the 10th one that will become the governor. You see all these archaic bias and sentiments, statements that are supposed to be shameful, not have always been the challenge. If a Lee Kuan Yew says he wants to rule this country and he brings those aggressive transformative policies, the North will come out and shout and cry using religious sentiment. No, we don't want to. Look at that VAT policy that Tinubu wanted to pass. They started campaigning in their mosque, saying that that policy is a scheme to, to pollute our Sharia invested lands, because when they start that VAT now, the money our government sees from alcohol that is coming from the South, it will no longer happen. So we will not have any other choice than to allow alcohol to be sold. But you guys know we need that money. So therefore, don't allow that VAT to be passed, because if it is passed, if they are making 10 billion from, let's say, Port Harcourt, they are making, let's say, 30 billion from Lagos. From that 30 billion, the only thing that will come to the whole North will be maybe 3 billion. From that 1 billion or 10 billion that is in Port Harcourt, the only thing that will come to the whole North is 1 billion. And now we will just have a total sum of 4 billion to share for the 19 northern states, as against maybe collectively around 40 billion. And out of that 40 billion, let's say 20 billion was going to the North. Now, if that VAT is passed, it is 4 billion. We cannot allow it, and we do not want to sell alcohol. It is against our religion, but we can spend the money. This is how the Northerners have become a serious challenge. And I'm so ashamed that a person like Obasanjo will come out, start forming one Nigerianist, start claiming he is a unity man, start claiming that he believes in Nigeria. Nobody is saying Nigeria should be destroyed. The only argument we are presenting is Nigeria needs to be restructured. The point is the owners, the real owners of the resources must enjoy the larger share of their resource. This is our cry. This is why we keep wailing. And this is why we have various agitators. This is why the IPOB ideology, the Biafran ideology might never die. This is why the Yoruba nation on a daily basis keeps gaining momentum. This is why even the South, the Akwa Ibomites, the Niger Deltans, the Asarido Kubos, the militancies, this is why they have not all dropped their guns. This is why even in the north, we can see the Boko Harams who are what? Stealing the gold in Zamfara. This is why every day they are getting more deadly because of that resource that is there. Imagine the gold in Zamfara is now being harvested or being mined by the Nigerian government. And I, in my state, in Oyo State, begin to enjoy part of it. Don't you know that will lead to major chaos? If Obasanjo wants to be a respected elder man, he should keep short and say the truth to power. Nigeria must be restructured. Nigeria is too diluted. We have too many diversity. Our constitution must represent our diversity. Our constitution must represent our differences. Our constitution must represent either our religious secularity or our religious affinity. Enough of this hypocrisy coming from these horrible past leaders. This is why I don't raise them. This is why a person like Sowore will say that the Nigerian 99 constitution has to be jettisoned. It has to be thrown out of the window. We all have to have a round table, sit down, a referendum. How do we intend to govern ourselves? Should we do it the way it is done in Switzerland, whereby the president is not the most powerful in the land? Should we do it in a regional system, whereby we might have maybe 6 to 8 regions, and across the regions, we'll have a representative who will be the president? Is it going to be a 4-year tenure, 1 term? Is it going to be a 3-year tenure, 2 term? Is it going to be a 5-year tenure, 1 term? We have to have this sit-down meeting for us to advance. These people who are Obasanjo should not be respected. Everything he said is absolute nonsense and balderdash. If Nigeria must move on, this idea of one Nigeria, as it were, must not exist. It must be ceased, and we have to realign it. I can't imagine you come to my backyard and you're taking my oil to go and feed some Alimanjaris in the north. I can't imagine you come to my backyard and take gold and come and feed some Igbos in the southeast. It doesn't make any sense. Let me be the one that will decide the percentage I want to give my fellow compatriots. If we will remain as one, my oil, if I am earning 100 million, let me say that, okay, I want to give them 20 million. That is coming from my own, goodwill. It shouldn't be foisted on me. I should not have a system whereby I am openly be cheated. Thank you. If you're just joining, please kindly subscribe, like, and share this video. Bye for now.